I confirmed in my studies of the virus database that MMR is associated with autism. So then what I've done only recently, and I haven't published this yet, but I looked at MMR before and after 2002. You can take like a group, all the vaccines before, all the vaccines after, same vaccine, and just look at the reports of the adverse reactions, look statistically at the numbers to see which ones are occurring out differently. They ought to all be the same because it's the same vaccine, sure, but they're not. And so it's very, very interesting because the vaccines, the events that occur, the reactions that occur after 2002, one of them is autism. It predicts autism statistically significantly when you compare after 2002 with before 2002. What this is saying is that now it's causal in autism, but then it wasn't in some sense, or it's more causal in autism now than it was then. And it also predicts all these things having to do with the brain. There's seizures, and there's sort of shortness of breath, and swelling of the face. I mean, all these things. So, brain swelling is one of the things that's connected to autism. And so, so it's really strange that it's different before and after. And the reason for it, I think, is the glyphosate, so that the two are working synergistically together to cause harm, because the glyphosate is depleting the manganese, which is causing the glutamate to be toxic, and the glyphosate is causing the glutamate to go into the brain. Before 2002, there's only one thing that's more prevalent before 2002, which is joint pain. So joint pain says it's not going to the brain, it's going to the joints. We have a lot of aluminum-containing vaccines now that we didn't have before. So that one fits with what's going up in step with the autism increase. Lots more aluminum-containing vaccines. I mean, for example, even HPV, which has just been introduced, Gardasil, they're giving that to these kids, teenagers, that's loaded with aluminum. And that's a very nasty vaccine. I've looked at that one too, and it has much, much more severe reactions to that one than to other vaccines that these kids are getting. I don't know why anybody would think it was a good idea to get that vaccine. And young girls' lives are being destroyed. They're dying, or they're getting some debilitating autoimmune disease, from that vaccine. It's very clear from the data. So that the glyphosate is letting the aluminum pass the gates, from the gut into the blood, from the blood into the brain. And the glyphosate is also bringing the aluminum to the pineal gland, which is outside of the blood-brain barrier. So that pineal gland is much more susceptible. People have studied the amount of aluminum in various parts of the brain. They find the pineal gland has twice as much as the other parts because of it being outside of the blood-brain barrier. So, but with the glyphosate, you get an increased delivery of the aluminum to the pineal gland, which ends up messing it up. And so I've noted that there's sleep disorder associated with so many of these neurological diseases. I mean, autism, Alzheimer's, dementia, depression, Parkinson's disease, multiple sclerosis, all of these things are associated with sleep disorder. Pineal gland produces the melatonin that controls the wake-sleep cycle. So when the pineal gland gets messed up, you can't make enough melatonin, you can't sleep, and that's connected then to everything else. Furthermore, melatonin is a product of the shikimate pathway, which is the exact pathway that glyphosate disrupts. And I haven't gotten into that before here in this interview, but this is what Monsanto says, oh yeah, shikimate pathway, we don't have that pathway in our cells, so ha ha ha, glyphosate's harmless to us. But the problem is that our gut bacteria do have that pathway. They use it to make these essential amino acids that we can't make. And we can't make them because we don't have that pathway. We depend on our gut bacteria to provide those for us. If they're exposed to glyphosate, they can't make it. And tryptophan is one of those really important molecules that's a precursor to melatonin and to serotonin and to melanin, which is what gets your skin dark when you're exposed to sunlight. So all of those are going to be deficient if you don't have enough tryptophan. And I think that's another key piece of the puzzle.